With the Western Conference Finals kicking off tonight, the Sharks against the St. Louis Blues, I'm going to give you guys my series preview and predictions today. Obviously getting it out before this series does get underway, and it definitely should be a very exciting series, and for me this was one of the tougher ones to predict out of any series that we've had in the playoffs so far. Both of these teams have their flaws, but they're both playing pretty well up until this point as well, so it should be a very exciting series, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Heading into the third round of the playoffs, let's take a look at the offensive leaders for each team. The San Jose Sharks, obviously, they did defeat the Colorado Avalanche in 7 games last series. They're letting goals by Logan Couture with 9 goals. He has been fantastic in these playoffs so far. Assists, Erik Karlsson with 12. He's really starting to find his game now in the Sharks uniform. And Logan Couture with total points, 14 points. He really has been their best player throughout the playoffs so far. And now that Joe Pavelski's back, this team is definitely scary and potentially a favorite of a lot of people to win the Stanley Cup this year. And then looking at the St. Louis Blues, they defeated the Dallas Stars in 7 games. Obviously, everyone saw the Game 7 overtime winner by Patrick Maroon. An amazing story for Maroon. If you guys didn't see that little video, I saw it on Twitter. It was like a big reason why he came back to St. Louis was to be closer with his family, and just when his son was crying when he scored that overtime goal is a pretty amazing story. So shout out to Patrick Maroon. He definitely is a big part of this team, as we saw in that Game 7, but they're letting goals by Jaden Schwartz with 8 goals. He's been fantastic. He's starting to play like he did last year, when at one point in the season last year he was leading the league in points. Assists, Alex Pietrangelo with 9, and total points, 11 points apiece for Pietrangelo and Jaden Schwartz. In terms of offensive firepower, I think I will give the slight edge to the San Jose Sharks just because they can literally roll 4 lines for a complete game, and if they want to, they can definitely stack the top 2 lines as well. So it's going to be a very interesting series. Obviously, both goaltenders are coming into this playing well. I was a little bit concerned about Martin Jones heading into the playoffs, but obviously he has been playing well enough for them to win. It has took San Jose 2 7-game series though, so you never know. Could fatigue play a factor in this series? A lot of things could be playing a factor, but honestly it should be a very exciting series, and like I said, it's going to be a very tough one to predict. Now taking a look at the team stats for both of these squads heading into the third round of the playoffs, the San Jose Sharks scored 3.07 goals per game up until this point in time, and they allowed the exact same 3.07, so they're definitely going to want to improve on the goals allowed per game in this series if they do want to have the best shot at advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals. They have a power play percentage of 18.5, which is okay, and a penalty kill percentage of 75%, something they're definitely going to want to improve on in this series, but it's not like St. Louis has a ridiculously good power play, that's just going to absolutely kill you in a series if you can't stay out of the box. And now looking at the St. Louis Blues, they scored 2.62 goals per game, and they allowed 2.54 goals against, so they score less than San Jose, but they also are much better at keeping the puck out of their own net. They have a power play percentage of 17.1 and a penalty kill percentage of 80.8, so looking at both teams' special teams, there's no significant advantage for either team. San Jose has a little bit better of a power play percentage, and the St. Louis Blues are a little bit better on the penalty kills, so these teams are very evenly matched, and I'm very excited to see how the matchups go, how they're going to line match and stuff like that, because St. Louis is a team, it's not like they have one dominant line. I mean, last series one of their best lines was that third line, centered by Tyler Bozak, so it's a very interesting team. And like I said, San Jose is very interesting as well. They got Joe Pavelski back. Obviously Erik Karlsson is starting to play like he did in Ottawa now with the San Jose Sharks, which is a very scary sight for the remainder of the league. But nonetheless, this is a very tough series to predict. But without further ado, let's get right into my prediction. So in the end, after going back and forth, my final prediction was the San Jose Sharks take it in 7 games. They have home ice advantage. I think they're the much deeper team. But then again, I think the goaltending factor could come into play because Jordan Binnington, I think, is a better goaltender than Martin Jones. Even though he's a rookie, I'm going to come out and say that I'm more confident in Binnington's abilities than I am in Martin Jones, because Martin Jones has lapsed a couple of times in these playoffs so far, especially in that first round series against Vegas. But ever since then, he's kind of been getting better. So it's definitely a tough series to predict, like I said in this video multiple times, and that's because I've been wrong a lot so far in these playoffs because they've just really been so unpredictable. But I hope I'm wrong. I want to see the St. Louis Blues go all the way. Ultimately, my dream of these Final Four teams, I want to see the Blues and the Hurricanes in the final, but I have a gut feeling that we're probably going to see the opposite with the San Jose Sharks against the Boston Bruins. But San Jose has been a good team for so many years now and not really able to win that Stanley Cup, so you never know, maybe this is the year, and I honestly think they're just the best overall team remaining in this postseason. So it definitely should be an interesting series. I think it's going to be close. It's going to go down to the wire. I think we're going to have a lot of overtime games, but in the end, my prediction is the San Jose Sharks take it and advance to the Stanley Cup Final in 7 games. So that is going to wrap up the video. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and make sure to let me know down in the comment section your prediction for this series, what team you think is going to win and how many games, and ultimately what you want the Stanley Cup final to look like. Thanks for all the support lately, guys, and with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content, and I will see you guys all in the next video.